I'm Kelly from AMS, and I'm here with Nathan from Dunlop. Hi, Nathan.
How's it going? Hello to everybody out there in internet land. This is NAMM 2025. We're excited to show you our new product lineup. So the star of the show for us as Dunlop and just in pedals in general is the Rockman pedal. It's kind of a throwback to a classic sound that really shaped the identity of rock music in the 80s. Obviously, Tom Schultz designed the Rockman line. He was a guitar player for Boston. And the X100 preamp was a signature sound that was used in all sort of studios. It featured heavily on Def Leppard's Hysteria album. And so we've owned the Rockman brand for a while, but this is the first new design we've done with it since we acquired it.
Oh, wow.
And what you basically have is all the features of that preamp condensed into a pedal. So it's not just a distortion pedal where you actually have 4 different channels. So there's a lot more going on under the hood here than you have with a normal stomp box.
Sure.
So specifically the overdrive portions have a lot of extra tone shaping and compression going on.
Okay.
There's 2 different channels, which is distortion red is obviously going to be the higher gain, more compressed, more saturated. Then you have the edge channel, which is going to be more of a open, overdriven sound.
Okay.
And then you have 2 different clean 1 and clean 2. Then they just have 2 different voicings in the EQ. Because if you notice, there's really just a gain and a volume. So there's no tone control.
Okay.
So all the sounds of those channels are kind of baked in.
Gotcha.
And so when you hear it, it's exactly that sound that you remember from the 80s on all those hit songs, and it's basically ready to go. The chorus is can be turned off or on independently of what channel that you're on. And it does have the ability to step through these modes live. So if you use a momentary switch like our MXR M199 tap switch, you can tap through those and have access to all 4 of the sounds without having to bend over or do anything, with your hands on the pedal.
Oh, that's great.
On the other side, or pedal-wise, this is just a limited run of the Way Huge Geisha Drive. Geisha Drive came out about 4 years ago. It's been wildly successful. This is a very, very limited run, less than 500 pieces for the U.S. in this limited edition blue finish. And then continuing on the limited edition release, we have a new version of the Kirk Hammett Wah.
Oh, wow.
We've been making Kirk's Wah for something like 20 years, and it's a circuit that he totally designed to his specifications. This new tread pattern and the yellow sparkle finish is just for this limited edition run.
It's really nice.
Moving on and keeping it in the whole Wah family, we also have the Mick Ronson Wah. So this wall right here was actually designed for Mick Ronson, the famous guitar player on a lot of David Bowie's albums.
Okay.
One thing about this pedal is it has a custom inductor. The inductor is probably the one part of a traditional Wah circuit that has the most bearing on its overall tone. It's similar to swapping a pickup in an electric guitar. If you took a stock pickup and you put a DiMarzio in it, it's going to totally change the sound of it. So this inductor was custom designed for this pedal for a very smooth taper sweep. And it's a one-of-a-kind pedal, and it is also very limited edition. There will be a production version of it later that will not be in the blue sparkle finish and the red tread. So we're actually coming out with the limited edition first, and then once that sells out, then the production model will be out there.
Awesome. What kind of player do you think would be most attracted to this?
That's a great question. I think it would be somebody that is familiar with that sound in that era and wants to be able to get it without having to try a bunch of different things out.
Or no guesswork.
Yeah, and anytime you have anything limited, there's just that inherent value of scarcity. So
the exclusivity.
Yeah, the people that are collectors that like having a lot of people that have Wah pedals, they don't just have the one. They might have 2 or 3 or 4. I know that I've actually probably played almost every Wah that Dunlop makes until I found the one that I like the best.
Right.
Because it's a very personalized, and everybody's going to want to hear what they want to hear. And so having all these different options really gives everybody a chance to get exactly what they want to hear, the sound that's in their head, and actually get it out there.
Yeah, it's such a personal thing.
Yeah.
So it's great that people have that option.
Yeah, fantastic. In terms of accessories, we got a bunch of new things coming out. MXR cables have been a huge growth factor for us. We started and it actually blew up. We didn't realize MXR has such a reputation for reliability that having the MXR branded cables, which are fantastically well made, rugged, great conductors, low capacitance, all the stuff that you want in a cable, you just want it to work.
Yeah, of course.
That's all it does is it gets your signal from your guitar to your amp, and you don't want to have to worry if it's going to cut out at the gig. So the cable line has been doing fantastic. We've expanded into microphone cables, speaker cables, TRS cables, but kind of a little bit of a throwback to the whole vintage vibe. We're actually doing a coiled cable.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool.
We're not the only company to make a coiled cable. They've been around since the 60s, but there's a couple of inherent hurdles you got to overcome.
Sure,
so
yeah.
when you have for example, a 15-foot coiled cable is really about 23 feet of cable. And if you know, if you're using passive pickups, once you get past 18 feet, you're going to lose a little bit of signal. So these actually have a beefy, oversized, almost double-sized conductor for very low capacitance to offset the fact that it is a much longer cable than it appears to be. Another thing that's not immediately apparent is the fact that the jacket is actually hexagonal.
Oh, wow.
And that's done because that will basically counteract the natural tendency of that type of cable to kind of want to fold up on itself.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
don't know if you're old enough to remember phone cords, you know? They would get like tangled, and then you would never be able to get them back out together, right? So with this, the actual jacket is designed to basically not do that.
Wow.
And so you've got a coiled cable that has the benefit. The benefit is you're not going to trip over it, right? Because you know, it's going to adjust to wherever you're at.
Right.
But you're not going to get the signal loss and, you know, and some of the other things and getting it tangled that, you know, happen with other ones that might be made. So
Very intelligent design.
yeah, we got that. We got a bunch of new picks. I don't know if you want to check out any of those.
Sure, yeah.
All right, we'll
Why
go over
not?
the pick bar. All right, so this doesn't look super impressive because these are so fresh, we don't even have the packaging for them yet to hang on the wall.
Nice.
But this is basically the Tortex Flex, which is a Tortex material, but it's non-dyed. And so it's also known as a acetyl pick. And what that does is it makes it a lot more flexible because the colorant actually changes the density of the material.
Oh,
and if you've ever played Tortex picks, you'll actually find that the ones that are done in white are stiffer than the ones that are in the color, and the ones that are black actually have a different feel. So Flex has been around for a couple of years to give people a little bit a Tortex wear, because Tortex is known for a nice matte feeling that stays in your hand and also lasts a long time, but has a little more give. It's not quite as stiff. Long story short, Phil X, guitar player for John Bon Jovi, yes. We're great friends with Jimmy Dunlop, and he's been using a pick that had a little hole punched in it for grip, and so that's where the X came from. So it's basically his pick that we designed so he could have something that would fit his needs. We also have a limited edition Matt Heafy of Trivium. He's had a signature pick with us for a few years. This is basically commemorating the 20th anniversary of their Ascension album.
Okay.
And so this orange is to basically go in line with that album. And we actually have an awesome new pick done for Peter Frampton. And this one I have packaging on.
Oh.
So Peter Frampton is obviously an iconic artist from the 70s and 80s. And he's been actually using a pick that is no longer in production. It was made by a company called Arrows.
Okay.
And he had a large stash of them that he was using over the years. He got to the point where he had to start sourcing them, on eBay and wherever you could find them. And they are basically gone. They don't exist anymore. And so he approached Jimmy Dunlop and said, can we make this pick? So it's called a Frampton Jazz pick, but the shape is actually quite a bit different than a Jazz 3.
Oh, yeah.
The profile on it is a little more rounded on the sides. So this is basically a reproduction of that Arrows pick from the 70s. It's also made with polycarbonate, which is a little bit of a denser material. You get a brighter sound, a little more attack than you do with, say, a nylon. And they're available in 4 colors: black, blue, white, and red. But that's pretty much it. That's all the new stuff for NAMM 2025.
Great, awesome, very exciting stuff. If you want to check out all the awesome new products from Dunlop, make sure to head on over to AmericanMusical.com.